There we go.
All right. I'm in.
I'm comfortable.
You're in?
This is nice.
Just hit that button right here. Let's go.
This is better than that one chair.
Hi, I'm Jason.
And I'm Greg.
We are Gen X. And welcome to our podcast.
Welcome to our podcast. Want to give you guys a big, huge shout out and say thank you to each and every listener, each and every viewer. If you're catching us on YouTube, if you're catching us over on the audio side, over on Podbean, greatly appreciate everybody who takes their time to spend with us each and every week. We have a Monday crew. We know about you guys. Thank you guys. Big shout out to you guys. Want to give a big shout out to our co-host Greg. Greg, welcome back.
What's up?
What's up? What's up? How are you?
What's happening? Good, man.
All right. Hey, tell us something good. What is good?
What's going on? It's good. I went swimming in the river behind my house for the first time in probably 2 years. I don't think we made it down there last summer.
Deep enough?
It gets all overgrown and stuff, and it's pretty gnarly down there, just kind of getting down the path and getting back there. So
Gotcha.
I went there last weekend with my big kid, and we basically blazed a trail down to our beach. And so I was able to take the girl and the puppy down there and play in the water a little bit, cool down. It was 106 yesterday.
It was 106 yesterday, yes.
Yeah, something good was being able to get in the water when it was 106.
And the water was cool in the nice spot where you were.
Yeah, and it's plenty. It's still moving fast and nice cool water and stuff.
Oh,
all the cottonwoods are shedding, so you basically
all the
got a layer of all the
fuzz.
fuzz coming by you is basically what makes it kind of gross. But
It's fun.
other than that, it was nice.
Got it. I want to give another shout out to everybody who is tuning in to us on the YouTube channels. We have the YouTube channels, and for people our age, that's our television program. That's our TV channel. So thank you guys for checking in. If you haven't already, and especially people our age, listen. There is a subscribe button right down there at the bottom somewhere. It's a big red button with white letters that says subscribe.
It's like over there somewhere, I think.
It's over here somewhere?
On the left side, I think, down there.
If you're looking, it's on the left. I don't
think-
see it. I own the
don't
channel.
remember.
So whatever.
Don't we have a YouTube in front of us somewhere?
Hit the channel wherever, hit the subscribe button,
Yeah.
wherever it is. We need you to subscribe. That lets us know that, hey, we're watching. So greatly appreciate you guys on that one. This week, in the background, you're going to notice it'll jump in with what we're talking about, but I wanted to have something fun. And my brother was saying, hey, let's do, what do you call it? Coffee shop conversations.
Yeah.
It's 103 outside, so we're not doing coffee.
No.
But why don't we just hop around to all the
coffee shops?
around the world?
Yeah.
Cool little coffee shops.
Really,
Cool little
real
spots.
ones?
Yeah.
Go to Europe and stuff?
And so let's celebrate a little bit of coffee in the background in between the stuff that we're going to do here today, completely unrelated to our topic. You guys did click on the title. You guys on YouTube, you guys see the thumbnail. Heroes or zeros, vigilantes, convicts, and killers. Oh my.
Will they let us eat pizza in a coffee shop?
I think so. We had pizza last week.
Could we go to, maybe we could go to a pizza shop temporarily and get a pizza?
Can we get 2 large pizzas,
Yes.
a meat lovers,
And a Supreme.
and a Supreme?
So we can eat some vegetables.
What's the difference between a Supreme and a combo?
Same thing.
Got
East
it.
Coast, it's an East Coast, West Coast thing.
Yeah,
It's like
we gotta
pop and
fight.
cola.
Pop and cola?
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, through the magic of technology and the magic of just the interwebs and everything that is now 2024, we'd like to,
look at that.
my goodness, woo, zombie, ooh,
Gen X Ghost. Hell yeah, Gen X Ghost.
Thank you, Gen X Ghost. I love that.
Awesome.
So, Rico's
Suave.
Pizza. So, what you guys are going to miss here probably, because I'm going to edit this out, but we're going to grab some freaking pizza real quick.
Slices. Thanks, Gen X Ghost.
Thanks, Gen X Ghost.
Now we have some snacks.
For our delicious Rico pizza.
And you can listen to us chew on camera again. Probably your favorite part of the show. Wake up in the morning and listen to us eat taco truck.
Pizza. From Rico's Pizza.
Got table built in.
Killers, vigilantes, and killers or convicts, oh my. Right. So this week, we're going to spend about a half hour, 45 minutes, maybe an hour, however this works out. We're going to spend the next little bit of time talking about a few folks that we're going to let you vote if they are heroes or zeros. These are going to be people right there at the line, questionable. I have my answers. Greg definitely has his answers, right? We have ours, but we need you to let us know what you think. Heroes or zeros?
Yes.
As far as this goes. Yes, audience participation is absolutely needed. Hit us up in the comments. Subscribe, like, do all the things that we're supposed to do. So the first one we want to get into is they called him payphone pop. This was back in the 80s. I remember this one, and I'm going to hit it right now.
This is like a meme, dude. I just saw this footage again on something the other day.
March of 1984, when authorities escorted 25-year-old Jeffrey Doucette through the Baton Rouge airport to face charges of kidnapping and sexual assault on a 12-year-old boy.
That other dude was
2
walking,
feet away.
but that other dude was walking 6 inches behind him.
While news cameras were rolling.
This guy doesn't even know what to do. He's kind of panicked.
That's the guy who almost didn't get shot. Or didn't almost get shot.
The
guy closest to getting shot that didn't get shot.
Panicked. Okay, you're forgiven.
The judge said prison would serve no useful purpose.
1984.
So we were talking over that whole thing. It's 31 seconds.
March of 1984, when authorities escorted 25-year-old Jeffrey Doucette through the Baton Rouge airport to face charges of kidnapping and sexual assault on a 12-year-old boy. The victim's father suddenly appeared, shot Doucette while news cameras were rolling. The father, 39-year-old Leon Gary Plauche, pleaded no contest to a reduced charge of manslaughter and today received a suspended sentence with 5 years probation. The judge said prison would serve no useful purpose.
Probation.
Gary was a father from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, when he made headlines, because like we just seen, he shot and killed Jeffrey Doucette in 1984, right? Doucette had kidnapped, okay, I remember this. He was the karate instructor. And he didn't just kidnap this kid. He was like friends with this kid. He was friends with the family. I don't think they were doing like extra karate lessons on the side, but I think, if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, like legit, he befriended the family and got their trust. And he was probably, I think, given rides back and forth or whatever, blah, blah, blah. If I remember correctly. There was some abuse happening before, but this guy, this karate teacher, just outright kidnapped this fucking kid and dipped. Like, he just went for broke. Like, he was going to get caught no matter what. There was no plan to get away. They caught him in San Diego. The kidnapper dude let the kid call his mom to let, everybody know he's okay. And, cops traced the call. They blah, blah, blah. They got him. They flew him back home, walking through the airport.
That was in the airport?
That was in the airport. I was a payphone in the airport. Hey, anybody less than us, younger than us, less than age than us. Gary was at a payphone. Those were the cell phones that you have in your pocket. Those were on the wall, and you had to put coins into them to make them work, right? So he was on the payphone making this phone call because there's hundreds of payphones in airports. So people, as soon as they land, they can make phone calls, whatever, blah, 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 right? Whatever fucking flyer people do, right? So they catch him. They fly him back. And then he's waiting in the fucking airport. I don't know if that was the take. It felt like that was a landing airport.
What's this dude's background? Is he military? Is he a former Navy SEAL?
11 years prior to this, his wife gave birth to their son. So he was the father. I think that was it.
That was a good shot. That was good timing. He was well placed.
Like he had practiced. He knew it.
But we're not supposed to agree with vigilante justice.
Well,
it doesn't supposed to make you a good guy.
So there are several schools of thought, and within each school of thought, there are like rules about this or that, about revenge, about, what is equal pay. There are things that describe what is fair is fair. I hear you. So that's why we're going to leave it up to you guys. Title says hero or zero. Gary Plauche, hero or zero. You let us know. Hit it up.
March of 1984, when authorities escorted 25-year-old Jeffrey Doucette through the Baton Rouge airport to face charges of kidnapping and sexual assault on a 12-year-old boy.
Nobody's even looking at that guy, man. Nobody was even paying attention.
Shot Doucette while news cameras were rolling.
Again, the guy in the jeans over on the white shirt,
Leon Gary Plauche pleaded no contest to a reduced charge of manslaughter and today received a suspended sentence with 5 years probation. The judge said prison would serve no
He's wearing some kind of headphone thing. He had a wire running up.
Like somebody was letting him know.
Like a wire.
3,
something.
2, 1. That's your guy. Go. Okay.
He didn't have a cell phone. I mean, what was like a walkie-talkie?
Yeah.
Headphone on a walkie-talkie, and someone was. So who else was in on it?
His wife.
She's a badass too.
Just pumping them up, gassing them up, getting them all ready to go.
Get him, Daddy.
IBM presents You Make the Call.
Hero Zero, you let us know.
Make the call. Hell yeah. Almost forgot.
Good fucking pizza, man. Love it.
Rico.
Rico.
Pizza. Hit us up. We'll shout you out every episode.
Ellie Nessler. Remember that name? Remember Ellie Nessler?
She the mean girl on Little House on the Prairie?
Nope. She was the badass mom from the East Coast, I believe. Ellie Nessler was an ordinary mother. Oh, West Coast, California. What's up, California?
What's up?
Maybe that's why it was so more. Maybe that's why I remember it so much, because it was hometown. Anyways, forgive me, not an expert. Ellie Nessler was an ordinary mother from California whose life changed dramatically when she learned that her son had been molested. I'm not making fun of that shit.
And then she did.
And then Ellie Nessler did this.
Uh-oh. Yeah, we use my cat's name.
That's just one of several songs written for Ellie Nessler. Hundreds turned out today to show their support for her. She is, of course, on trial for shooting to death Daniel Driver, who himself was on trial for molesting Ellie Nessler's son. Since the killing, Nessler has gained attention worldwide, and she says she's touched by all this support.
This comes from people's hearts, and I just love it. You know, it's strangers sometimes. Yeah, that I don't even, people I don't even know. It's wonderful.
She doesn't seem very
As
distraught.
Nessler's trial continues, the prosecution has finished opening arguments. The defense is just beginning this week. Now, back to...
Yeah, she seems pretty comfortable with it.
That was George Warren, by the way, Channel 10, I think it was. The accused, Daniel Driver, was the man accused of molesting Nessler's son and several other children. He was a worker at a Christian summer camp where Nessler's son had attended.
Background checks, bro.
Well,
These are the reasons why we have background checks now.
April 2nd, 1993, when she killed Daniel Mark Driver, who had been accused of sexually abusing 5 boys, including Nessler's son. In the courtroom of the Jamestown Justice Court, she fired 6 shots into Driver's head, killing, I'm not fucking laughing, killing him instantly. She walked into the courtroom, dude.
Right here in Jamestown?
And put 6 in his head.
That's right here.
Yeah. Put 6 in his head.
Damn.
And then we saw the news for all the support and coverage. She killed the molester. Vigilante. Legit, 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
Executioner. Dang.
Driver had previous convictions for child molestations. This wasn't...
And we still let him go work at a church.
According to John Thurber of the Los Angeles Times, the finding that Nessler was under the influence of methamphetamine when she killed Driver caused a sympathetic portrait of herself portrayed by her defense team to erode. She served 3.5 years as her case wended its way through trial and appeals before she pleaded guilty to voluntary manslaughter. She was released in 1997.
So she was basically in jail for the trial. And that was it.
She was sentenced to 10 years in prison. She was released in 97 after serving approximately 4 years due to an appeal over jury misconduct and accruing good behavior credits.
Yep.
She passed away in 2008 from breast cancer.
And then she ended up buying meth again. She was a meth chick up in Jamestown. And they still let her sneak a gun into a courtroom. Man, I bet those sheriffs got in trouble.
They probably don't allow guns in there anymore. What do you think?
I bet they weren't allowed that day either.
So again, I remember this Ellie Nessler chick. I remember this obviously because it was hometown. I didn't realize it was hometown. We're pretty damn close.
Yeah, that's
anyway.
close by. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. That why there was so much coverage over it, why it was so popular, because it was right here, right?
Oh.
Imagine what would happen today, I'm sure it happens across the world somewhere, that people walk into courtrooms now. It's probably harder to get a gun into a courtroom. It's not impossible.
Not impossible. But
She walked up.
It's a lot more difficult.
So think about the logistics here. There's all the rows of, they're not all the chairs. There's like where the prosecution and the defense sit, and then there's some bailiffs. There's a box for jury sometimes, whether there's jury there or not. Right?
Yeah.
There's the bench for the judge, the
I can
recorder.
really only picture Stockton and how Stockton looks.
Or Manteca.
Yeah,
Those are the only two.
Oh yeah, Manteca, the tiny little Manteca.
the logistics of walking into a courtroom, even pre-gun era or pre-Nessler, there's bailiffs. They have guns, right? And there's other bailiffs in other courtrooms. She walked in, past everybody, or was sitting there. She was probably sitting there waiting for the trial, right? Expected her to be there, right? Wasn't like uncommon for her to walk in and why was she here? No, he was on trial. He was on the stand, maybe?
Before metal detectors and all that stuff, though, I bet.
We could do a little research and figure out that metal detectors came in during 93.
Yeah, because of these things.
Because of her. You know what I mean?
I saw the one of the guy that just came across barehanded and wasn't just going to come and choke the dude out.
They usually only get 1 or 2 good hits on them, and that's it.
If they even make it that far. There's usually 15 dudes on them pretty fast.
That's what I'm saying. So she got all the way in and gets 6 rounds off. And the bailiffs don't shoot her?
Maybe they saw what direction she was shooting. Never know.
My gun's stuck.
Hold your fire.
My gun's stuck.
She ain't shooting at us.
So, Ellie Nessler killed her child's...
that means it's somewhere around here. Somewhere within 100 miles of us is someone that was there that day. There's a sheriff that was in the courtroom. Or that lady that does this thing on the typewriter with only has 12 keys.
It's got got 7 fingers for everything. Yeah. What you said was, I'm like, shut up.
Like, I don't even know. What are you just smashing keys? So if you were there that day, we'd love to have you on the show. We got pizza.
You make the call.
IBM presents You Make the Call.
What do you guys think? Ellie Nessler, hero, 0? We want to know in the comments. We want to know in the comments. Don't leave us a comment down there. Is she a hero? Is she a 0? I'm going to guess a lot of the comments are going to go, if but.
Yeah.
If but, right? And I get it. She broke the first rule. One of the first rules, depending on what school you go to. She broke one of the big ones, right? I get it. Is there ever justification for it? That's the second question. Now we're going to get deeper into what's justification, blah, blah, blah. Tell us down there. We want to know. Gary Plauche? Gary Plauche? How was he? Was he justified? Would you have done the same thing? We're going to get a ton of people that says, what's the problem? We're going to get some folks that are going to be like, justice is there for a reason. And I get that too. I get that. I do. I hear you. We want to know. Leave us some comments down there. So we have some few more guys here. This next guy I found just scrolling, and his thumbnails, this is big, giant, beefy, tatted dude. Tats all over him, prison looking dude. These are prison tats. And from the title, it's Wes Watson, GP, penitentiary life, prison gangs, white gangs. He talks about being in prison, right? The cool thing about Wes Watson is that so he's got this background. He will tell you in his own stories that he did 10 years in prison, right? And he'll tell you that he was a key holder, he was a shot caller, he was in the white gangs, and he tells it how it is for white people in California prison system. He speaks on what he knows and what he's been through, blah, blah, blah. But he's not just up there glorifying prison or, doing some scare tactics. We don't go to prison. It's not about that. He speaks to people on a level. He speaks to people about certain things that will truly guide your behavior and your thoughts, right? He's got it dialed in for himself. And there's a lot of people like him that this really works really well for. So he talks a lot about your character, who you are, how you present yourself. It talks a lot about your vibration, which is a part of your character, kind of like how you are, who you are. He talks about gratitude. He talks about being humble. But then on the other side, some of the prison stories, it's like, there's a lot of discipline. It's militant. His discipline is militant when it comes to that. His expectations are militant when it comes to that thing. So he's taking these principles of just like, there is no fucking choice. He'll talk to you. We're going to watch a video, but he'll talk to you like if you're a white boy and you hit the California prison system, you're not going to roll Christian. You're not going to roll, other. You're not going to roll. If you hit general GP, you hit my yard, you're in a gang and you're programming with us. You're working out. You're eating with us. You're working out with us. And if you're not an asset, you're a liability and you'll be removed from the fucking yard. He takes that kind of militant, that kind of attitude, that kind of discipline, that kind of just personality, I guess, and applies it to like positive behavior, right? He's not trying to glorify prison for the idea of like, well, then don't come to prison if you don't like it. But there are a few that he ends that way. If you don't like it, don't come to prison, right? But he's also talking about, like some of the vices that people go through and how these vices, talking about drugs, talking about the alcohol, talking about the women, talking about the lifestyle, talking about the need to hustle, right? How some of these vices can just kill a man and control a man from the inside. And it's your character and it's your beliefs and it's this, that, and the other. So he's got it down. He's got quite the following. He's nailed it as far as going, he's nailed it as far as knowing how to do the YouTube thing, because you can watch his videos. He'll progress, like the one we're going to watch. He'll progress from sitting at a park bench with no shirt on out in the middle of the day with probably just a little cell phone or a little GoPro sitting on the table, just giving this message, right? To sitting like in an office with no shirt on out the window. Like you can see him like leveling up, so to speak, to like this fancy penthouse. And he's not just this YouTuber who's got like this prison grit and this good story. He's got Wes Watson Fit. He has a phenomenal workout regimen, a workout sesh or workout program. You looked at the dude; he's jacked. I mean, he's kind of prison big, but getting out and then doing all this fitness stuff. And then again, you talk to anybody who's into fitness that's any kind of serious about it. It's a mindset.
Oh, yeah, it's a discipline.
There's the discipline. There's the mindset. There's the character. There's all these inner things that really guide your behavior. And he speaks from his experience, and his experience is pretty gritty. It's pretty rough. It's pretty fucking hardcore.
That's cool. I don't think I've ever heard of them.
Their prison stories they're fucking fun. They're good. And sometimes you hear about so-and-so from Modesto or so-and-so from Contra Costa County, Coco County, they call it. Yep. I hear a lot of prison stuff, man. It's like, and he talks about all the tattoos. He breaks it all down, but then, how you earn, blah, 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 blah. So.
White gangs, we're talking about white gangs. I'm going to break down the white gangs that I was around in the pen. I only talk about the shit that I was around. Everybody asks me, hey Wes, you tell good stories. I say it's hard to fuck up your story. Fuck all the bullshit. Now we're going to start at the top. AB, the Aryan Brotherhood, otherwise known as the Brand. If you go into the penitentiary as a white man, you're going to answer to them, and there's no motherfucking questions asked, but that's all I got to say about that. They're the top of the food chain. You're answering to them through somebody else, and that's fucking that. The second biggest gang in California prison history was, I say was because they're no longer good. No longer good means they can't walk the line as GP because they tried to challenge the Brand, and you don't fucking do that. The NLR, the Nazi lowriders, otherwise known as the Ride. This was the second biggest gang in the white section of the prison system. The whites are small in numbers. That's why we're fucking particularly brutal to our own people, and when we gotta handle business with others, because we gotta make up for it with fucking violence. That's just how it is when you don't got the numbers. So this is what happens when they collide. The Aryan Brotherhood and the Nazi lowriders, they were at a fucking beef, and the AB greenlighted them. AB greenlighted that LR, and they had to fucking be removed. They all had to go. Now in Dago, where I'm from, the main fucking gangs in Dago for white boys is definitely SDSH, San Diego Skinheads, TCF, The Chosen Few, Dead 40s, SKS, to name a few. But these are just the ones that I'm around. There's a shitload more. These are the ones that I'm around, coming from where I come from and the yards I was at. So now their life worse, the COs are gonna make your life worse. So that's where the respect comes into play. I don't give a fuck what you do in life. Just don't come up in my shit. I like to create assets around me instead of having liabilities, because that's just the way to live. If you can create better people around you, then there's less likely for drama to ensue. Because it's always one main person who starts the problem, and then their boys get their back. That's just how it works in the system. So then their boy backs them. In the prison system, the whole thing is you better respect yourself because I gotta respect you. So I'm gonna make sure you conduct yourself with respect, because if you fuck up, I gotta have your back. That don't mean I ain't gonna smack you when I get the motherfucking chance. The whole thing is those motherfuckers who fuck up, we always tell them, hey, when we get to the back, I'm gonna fucking get your ass. If you cause a problem out here, don't get it twisted. But the thing is, I'm gonna get your back 100%. I got you 123%. But just know, if you fucked up, I'm riding with you then, and you'll pay for it later.
100%.
Wes Watson, Penitentiary Life, GP.
How old is that video?
This video he's got 516,000 subscribers. This was 4 years ago. This one's got 430,000 views. Let's peek in on his newest video.
And now he's Andrew Tate.
I've said it before. And
I looked up his net worth. He's worth 1.1 million now.
The only thing that matters is who the fuck you choose to be when you're not getting your way. It's all fun and fucking games when everything's going your fucking way. When the bottom falls out. When the tangible world, the material world, when everything around you is collapsing and falling apart, that's when the spiritual world is awakening. I'm trying to tell you guys, when it feels like everything's at a loss and everything is crumbling around you and breaking, that's when you're being molded. Do you guys not get that this is the moment that you're asking for that strength that you're going to need for your next level up? Every time, right after my life fully fell apart, I leveled up massively because they were relationships. And I was pushing against like an immovable object, which was an individual that would not work with me. So here I am just working so hard, pushing against it. And then once that person was removed out of my life, bam, I propelled forward so quick. And this was what happened in my first marriage. I'm not saying that it's always positive to go through breakups and lose people, but when you don't get along with people, there is too much of an energy loss there. It doesn't mean someone is right or wrong or this or that or everybody has to blame each other. Some people just don't vibrate. They just don't have the same core beliefs and core values. I always get along with my people because I share exactly who I am, so they should know. And if down the road a long time, they start to realize, hey, this guy is who the fuck he is. Maybe I don't agree with a lot that he has to say and who he is, so that's my bad. And that's clients.
Wes Watson.
Yeah.
Prison stories. Motivational speaker. Watson Fit. He's got his own fitness line, his own workout stuff. I hate to miscall it and say that he's got workout videos, and that's not what the fuck it is, right? This is not, anyways. So you hear what kind of angle he comes from.
It's a million guys doing this. He's just grabbing his piece of the.
This is the guy I found first.
His audience. Yeah.
Right. I found him a couple years ago. There's a couple new guys out, or a couple guys out that I've been catching, which are pretty cool.
Now it'll start showing up on my phone now that we talked about it. My phone is sitting right here.
Listening to you. There's a guy out of Oregon. Big white dude out of Oregon that's kind of doing the same thing. He'll have a question of what happens to school shooters in prison. Let's talk about it. And he'll come in, right? And it's like, school shooters just like any other blah, 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 blah.
I've
bad
seen
paperwork.
Some of those guys where it's like a podcast and there's some bad guys telling bad guy stories about how they were passing checks and convincing bank managers to give them $250,000. Like they're just scammers. Like these scammers from the 80s and 90s are coming out and telling their stories of how they got away with all this shit, or they didn't get away with it and now they're out and they're telling the story on a podcast a lot of times. But I get stuck on some of those stories too. If it starts out interesting enough, I like to watch that kind of stuff. It's like true crime.
It's like true crime.
It's like, but it's not even like you're watching some dopey true crime mini-series thing.
Some
it's like
true shit.
The guy who did it is actually telling you. And I used to use these fake names, and I had 15 different IDs, and like they're telling the story about how it all caught up to them. And this is the day I got busted. Those are dope stories. I like that.
I'm going to throw someone out there before we close. Someone I thought of last minute. Somebody we haven't All right, I'll just throw it out there. Fuck it.
Weird Al. Is he a good bad guy? We just saw he ran into Rico Suave. Toby sent us an update. Or either that or it was AI generated. I think my kid was the first one to say that. I was like, fuck, I didn't even think of that.
So when I was a kid, when we were kids, Gen X, if you haven't done it already, leave us some comments about everything we've covered. Hit the subscribe button. Like the video. Let us know. We need subscribers. YouTube favors us. The YouTube algorithm gods will favor us when that subscriber number increases.
Yes.
Hit the subscribe. That's why we need it. We
need a little boost.
We love you guys. Hit the subscribe button. I thought about this guy putting little last touches on this outline. Heroes and zeros, and we've had some pretty influential people, that could go either way, and we're going to get a lot of comments on them, and that's good. That's what we want. However, this final guy, I'm going to say, is just an American fucking hero through and through. When's the last time you guys said Evel Knievel?
Is that the Snake River?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
It's the realization of his.
Is that the rocket bike?
When's the last time we talked about stuntmen? When's the last time we talked about fucking tough guys doing tough guy stuff, and to where their name was synonymous with doing tough guy insane stunts?
I got to touch that rocket bike.
Scared and they're worried.
I got to be in the same room with it one time.
Genuinely so. And awesome. I felt that worry for them. I really did, because I really like the family very much.
It had to be really tough. He's saying goodbye to them. How many times did he say goodbye to them going out to risk my life again?
If Knievel had any ideas about pulling out of the jump, the reality was that he had very little choice.
I always worried that he was not going to do it because I had to have the jump. We had everything at stake. Behind him is this cowboy with a cowboy hat on and a badge on and holding a shotgun. All those guys, there were 7 of them, they were mine. They were for me. This guy's job was to make sure he never got out of that sky cycle.
Thousands have gathered on the canyon's edge, and the event is beamed live on closed-circuit TV into cinemas across the country.
It's awesome.
I think I remember watching this
at 3:36
live on TV, right? Or something?
3, 2, 1.
You just put him in a fucking rocket. Just aimed it that way.
As the sky cycle leaves the launch ramp, the emergency parachutes have prematurely opened, sending it spiraling to the canyon floor.
It's all right. Got a parachute.
Everybody, including me, was straining to see through binoculars any which way what was going to happen.
Did he go in the water?
I didn't think we'd ever see him again.
And it disappears below the rim of the canyon, and nobody can see anything.
It's in the water.
And I saw him under the rock, and I went on a walkie-talkie and said, he's alive, go under the rock.
The sky cycle had landed just feet from the edge of Snake River. Knievel had survived, but almost immediately there were serious doubts about what really happened. After all the hype and promotion, there was a suspicion that Knievel had pulled the emergency chute on purpose, that the whole event was one big PR stunt.
Landing on the other side of the canyon would have been safer. It's 7,000 feet higher.
Yeah, that would have been not the way.
When's the last time we talked about stuntman?
I got to meet him one time.
Evel Knievel.
I went to Saga had a motorcycle and started hanging out with motorcycle dudes. And then I saw an ad that said that we're supposed to go on these group rides. Like you see all the dudes on the freeway on the motorcycles. I would join into those kind of big group rides like that. And they said, if you show up on Saturday morning at the Honda dealership in Tracy, the Evel Knievel was going to be there. And then at 9 a.m., he was taking off and he was going to lead a ride. I'm not going to not go on that. So definitely went. Got like 3 dudes to go with me. I got pictures of the whole thing. I got pictures of his motorcycle, his Harley that leaks oil. And I got pictures of the oil leak. Maybe I'll have that too. Let me see if I can find them. That would be hilarious. Rode basically from Tracy out around Stockton, all the light country roads and stuff, to a bunch of different bars. We'd stop at a bar. He'd get off. He'd go inside. He'd drink a beer. He'd come back out, get on his bike, and ride to the next spot. Half hour, 45 minutes or so. It would take an hour and a half to get every single bike. There's 1,000 bikes following him around. And went to 5 or 6 different spots before we ended up in somewhere Brentwood or somewhere kind of East Bay out there. And at this big spot for a big barbecue, and got to basically walk up to him and say what's up. And I got a helmet. If I knew we were going to talk about him, I was standing right next to that helmet today because I was in the room where that helmet is kept.
Can you sign it?
Yeah, I've got his signature on my first helmet. Immediately retired my first helmet. So I bought a motorcycle, bought a helmet, bought all the gear and stuff. And within a couple months, I think I went on this ride and then got him to sign this helmet with a Sharpie. So I didn't want it to get scratched up or anything. So I just colored it with clear fingernail polish over the signature. And I put that helmet on a shelf and bought a new one.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's my Evel Knievel helmet.
Done.
Yeah, bro. Hell yeah. Got to meet him.
Have you met anybody famous? Hit us up and let us know.
If any famous stuntman?
Anything.
The Fall Guy?
We're going to have to do an episode on Stuntman or The Fall Guy. I want to hear that song.
Because, yeah, that was a big thing back then, stuntman.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno was a stuntman. He was the Incredible Hulk, you know what I mean? And John Matuzak, he wasn't a stuntman, but he also did a bunch of the big burly shit. You know, they actually used big men and real men to do men shit.
Yeah.
It wasn't all CGI and computers, which is fine. I get more out of it, right? I get that. It's cool, but...
It's all fun and games.
Until the stuntman gets
But none of the skinny guys are the heroes now.
Fuck them. Anyways. That's going to do it for us tonight. I want to give a big shout out to all of our listeners and our viewers. Hit that subscribe button. Like the video. Let us know you're watching out there. Greatly appreciate each and every one of you. My name is Jason.
And I'm Greg.
Peace out, everybody. Late.
Shout out to Rico.
If you're still watching this will be in the outtakes. Maybe we'll do a whole episode with
Headless men.
Wonder how this looks. Be pretty cool.
Like,
now will you subscribe?
We've seen movies. Look, we got special effects.
We got all the things.
Explosions. We got all the things.
All the stuff. Let us know. Anywho, yeah. So
yeah.
I wonder what my neck hole right here looks like.
You got a seam, but it's probably all right. Easy to fix.
As long as it stays above the couch.
Yeah.
If it goes below the couch, it looks like a hole in the couch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like a cartoon. So like if I do this. So now I have. Remember those cartoons where they had just the black hole? They have a hole. Bunk. Bunk. Disappeared. Everything's disappeared. Ah, no hands. Ah, hole in the couch. We out.
It's all fun and games.